All right, guys. So we're here today with my man, Resurrection Series Zero. Yeah, he just
What's going on?
you know what?
So I
Anyway,
guess we're yapping about the game and the content, eh?
yeah. So I want to do this. I was gonna make this video originally just me yapping, but I figured like somebody that knows the game well and has been playing for years, like he's been playing longer than me, um, and just really like what our thoughts on on like this year's game because there's a lot of stuff to talk about and we're recording this right after the draft day content just hit all the all-star draft day. Just let me know before we get into like all that content because we'll discuss that later. What how are you feeling about the game this year since we're kind of at the halfway point?
See, this is the thing because I like when it comes to MLB the Show, you know, and everybody knows that I really never complain too much. Like I don't like I just play the game and like whatever they give us, and like I grind whatever it is, and like I don't sit back and really think too much about it all. Hey, like this year's game, like I've been having a lot of fun on a lot of things, like, especially I mean, I've been playing events a lot more this year because events actually mean a little bit more again.
Hmm.
Um, Offline content, like, as far as, like, programs and everything, I've been enjoying, like, as well, like, just kinda, like, grinding certain things. I would probably have more, like, gameplay thoughts if I played, like, high ranked like you or other people, like, 'cause I know, like, the slider shrinkage was a problem, I know, like, online servers were a problem. I know, like, just online stuff, like the hater stuff and everything was always an issue. Um, See, like I said, like, I've been enjoying the game for the most part this year. I've also been extremely lucky. I feel like every time the servers are down, I'm not home. So like I'm very lucky. Like I don't know. Like I know it's been a very big problem, and especially like the last like 2 weeks, I feel like the servers have been down like almost every single night. I was not home on most of those nights, so I was lucky. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying the game this year. I know it's got its problems. Um, I will say some of this recent stuff, like the content, like the all-star content and like the repeat guys, has definitely sparked a little bit more of like a I guess like an inner rage or like an inner like just annoyance with some of that stuff. Like because content was always the thing, like when the game wasn't playing well, or if certain things weren't playing good in the game, or if there was an issue like the servers or whatever, at least the content could somewhat carry it, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
And I would even say like the first couple months of the game this year, the content was pretty good. Like I would say
Yeah.
like there was some bad drops, there was some like,
Questionable.
underwhelming
Yeah.
cards, yeah, like questionable stuff, but um these recent drops has really kind of opened up like the repeat guys and the problem with that, and the for whatever reason it just kind of makes you realize how little they've really paid attention to legends this year. And I don't know, it's made me think about a lot of stuff too, but you go ahead with some of the stuff you think with what I just said, because
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Me playing on the higher difficulties, with the hater, the king stuff, like I think it was just the neglect that they had, like slider shrinkage. Like I feel like obviously it's gotten worse over the years, but like we've always had issues with like XV lows and launch angles, especially like with guys
yeah,
with contact. Even though I feel like this year, like I've been having more fun with those contact guys, like a Tony Fernandez and Nassim Nunez, like some of those
yeah,
guys
yeah.
are they just fun, like. But yeah, I think for me this year, not even speaking about content, just like about the game. It's really tough because I do want to enjoy it, but but the gameplay just kind of takes down the servers, like, and not even discussing like the servers have always been kind of an issue, but it more so like just the little stuff that you would think they would get it right, like the menus, like
Yeah,
the menus have like I've had more like menu issues than any other game in like these last like 4 months than I did
yeah.
like all of 25 and 24. Um and like with stuff like when you're trying to do offline stuff like the mini seasons like in the in the conquest you just freezes and stuff, which I do appreciate. Like you don't have to do like with the all star content, you don't have to do mini seasons. I think I like that a
Yeah, I
lot
like
better.
that too.
But and like some of the conquests have been really good. Like the draft day content we just got, like you can just do that like 8 games. I knocked it out in like 2 hours. Just that's super easy. And I think like if you were to if you were to start like let's say a brand new player just starts today, like there's so much good content right now but the thing is with it's just the same guys, and like we still haven't got like another like Fred Lynn or like a
Yeah.
or like
Andrew
like
Jones. Andrew
Dustin
Jones was
Dustin
yeah,
Pedroia,
Pedroia. Yeah.
like just some of these guys like they might not be like like
But they were added to the game to
yeah
be
like it
used. Like
yeah we have like
that it does irritate me. It does irritate me.
yeah, and thing is I don't mind repeat cards, but it's just the
Yeah.
timing of it.
Yeah.
There's literally like PCA, like we got like
Like what? 6 diamonds, 5 diamonds. Like that's just come on now. Like that's
yeah,
just
it literally got it in like three like of the same overall cards, and they're not
yeah.
much different like from each other.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe the All Star was a little bit worse, just because it's a little, but
But the problem there was like the Cubs only had one All-Star, so they were kind of pigeonholed, but like that's just something you should think of before even dropping that stuff. Like that weekend classic PCA, like there was really no reason for that card to be a part of that. Like they could have brought in someone else, like especially like these live guys, like the live series cards. Like there's no reason to have them be a part of weekend classic or be a part of uh like the spotlight drops and everything because we know we're going to get all-star cards whether they're like 96s 97s or whatever, and then we're gonna get those guys as finest eventually too. Like that Jacob Latz literally just got like a spotlight card, and then he got an all-star card because he was the only Rangers all-star. And you probably could have like expected him to be the only Rangers all-star. And they gave him a spotlight card. Like they didn't have to give it to him.
yeah, yeah. And thing is too, if they were gonna release like cards like if they know like a certain player is gonna make the All Star, then
Yeah.
I think then what we saw with United, I can't say his name, but the first overall pick, um, I'm
Rock Chalowski, I think.
yeah,
I'm not even sure.
yeah, Rock Chalowski,
Something
yeah,
like that. I don't know.
yeah, but like what they did the Red Diamond, like we were out,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think that is a cool idea, and they could do like different card variants if they want to do something like that. And like say like yeah, PCA, you just had the milestone. Maybe you could just change it to the All Star if you like that card art better, or just something,
Yeah, yeah.
just something
Yeah,
like
something like that. Like mix it up a little bit differently.
yeah. But I enjoy like I feel like content this year has been it's been up and down. There's really like when the content's good, it's really good, but then when it's bad, it's like really bad. It's like I know people make the joke all the time, the A team and the B team, like so.
Yeah.
So I think
I mean, it
like
does seem like that sometimes. Like,
yeah. So
I don't know.
but I'm just kind of I'm not worried because I feel like I once we do end up getting some of the 99s because we're gonna get like a better 99 Trout, better 99 Otani. I just don't want that as much. I think like a 99 to me, and I know you probably feel the same way, should be like in game. Like that is the best
Yeah,
version of
yeah.
a guy.
Yeah,
I
like we shouldn't get like a low tier 99 and then a high tier 99 of the same guy. Like that just like I
don't,
said, I really feel like this year they've just really neglected the legends, and it makes no sense because it makes me feel like they are scared of their fan base like leaving because of non like clickable names or like non like superstar names because like we get so many current players and I as much as I like that like I'm like oh I
yeah,
love seeing those guys get good cards, but there needs to be a mix. Like I know that some of the legends in the game might not be like people probably if we got like a Dave Roberts like
99.
chase pack like 90 whatever 798, like people are probably going to be like oh like I would have rathered it be like a Cattell or like a whatever, but
Or another legend like
and I
Lance
think
Berkman,
like
like just somebody.
yeah, like I think like SDS feels like they need to cater to the current players because they know that most of the people that are playing the game are probably younger people
Yeah.
and are not going to be aware of some of the legends necessarily without having to try them out. And some people just don't care to try those guys out.
Yeah, I know, like, when I was first starting to get into MLB, like, or just MLB The Show, like, I didn't know a lot of guys, like, as far as, like, legends. I knew, like, a lot of Braves players and Curry, and I would use those, but, like, I think that was always fun for me to do, like, is to use some of these,
Yeah.
like, back in the day, I remember it was, like Andrew Jones or, like, yeah, I'm trying to think, or, like,
What another Braves guy?
no, I'm just trying to think of like legends back in the day, like like
Oh
that weren't
yeah.
like they weren't household names, but they were good. Like this,
Like Kirk Gibson when he was in the game, or
yeah,
like
exactly. Like Kirk
yeah,
and
yeah,
this and guys like that, which
yeah.
I feel like you know with the game, like that's why we need like other different modes. I feel like we've been saying that for years, and I do love Weekend Classic, but Weekend Classic is especially this time around, like the rewards are just not there. So, like I don't know how they are in the lower ranks, but for Immortal, it was like you got like 6 wins would got you, like 250 subs. Five was like five was like a 90 or 88 overall or 91 overall, like live series. Then five was like 2 chase packs and like some stubs, and then three was like a headliners, and it's just like okay, like
Yeah, it's like it should be a little bit better. I agree, but I don't know why they like because I mean, not that I play it much to know, but like I would say maybe like the immortal rewards in recent weekend classics were at least good, like at least
yeah, like
like. So I don't know why this one was worse. Like, why would they even
well, I mean,
change? Like,
I think the cards themselves, like Ozzy's obviously
yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah,
Like Chapman is going to be Chapman. And if you get the top 10, you get Mizorowski. So, and all this the seventh or eighth one we got. Um,
yeah. Like that too is like I know that's the thing. Like, because I feel like they don't think that's a problem because they know that Jacob Mizorowski is probably one of the most talked about players in baseball right now. And they're like, oh, we're going to use that marketing tool as a reason to give him a bunch of cards for people to maybe want to buy the game because they're like, oh, Mizorowski, I've heard of this guy. Let me buy the game and use his
yeah,
card. Or like, or players that still play the game, they're going to want to use him. Or the casual fan base are going to want to like, they know Jacob Mizorowski over somebody like I know Fergie Jenkins ain't in the game anymore, but somebody that I thought I was just like Fergie, like
yeah,
people are gonna hop on the game to get a Mizorowski over a Fergie, regardless if there's like 5 diamonds.
yeah. If you
Now the hardcore players like us, like we're gonna get pissed off at that because we know there's like so many Mizorowskis already, but I think they're kind of catering to that in a way that's it's becoming a problem.
Yeah, I think like obviously it's a business, and like they're gonna make their money, but I feel MLB, like regardless of what we say, is still like a top selling game. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so and speaking of, like, I know this is not MLB, but like with EA, like I feel like if anybody doesn't know, I'm pretty sure everybody, but EA had to change, like with their stuff with single player, and or with Dynasty and stuff, because they were trying to introduce microtransactions, and I feel like SDS, um, maybe they could possibly like do something like that, or they're doing similar things, and it's just, and I feel like the community is suffering for it, and just the game overall, like um,
I think part of that and why SDS might be reluctant on doing something like that and why EA now regardless I know EA has been a like
they're
they're a
the
company that
top,
has been around
yeah,
for years like and they probably really don't think too much about it but they know that college football was like didn't like they lost college football and correct me if
yeah.
I'm wrong like
It was
years
gone. It
ago.
was gone for like 13 years, like 10 plus, yeah,
Yeah,
at least.
was that like a money reason or was that like a rights reason or like
It was a more so like college reason because college players weren't getting paid and just their likeness, but
yeah,
now
so
they are
okay,
paid. So
money
yes,
stuff, right.
yeah,
Um so I think them knowing that they brought it back a few years ago and how many people were like I remember when that like not that I play it or ever played it or but what I man, that was all like you heard about in the gaming world was when that game was coming out, it was
yeah,
man, so many people loved it back in
yeah,
the day and
and it
now it's
was
coming back. So I feel like now that it's been a couple years that they've had it out, was
yeah,
this the third
yeah,
game
third year,
back?
yeah, yeah,
So like I feel like they probably think like, "Oh man, like we can't mess up this early into the return or we're going to
yeah,
lose everybody again and then like really lose an investment." And I feel like SDS or even like I was thinking about like 2K, like they've been doing this stuff for a very long time. So
yeah,
like they probably feel like we're not going to lose everyone and we're not going to really piss off people because we have been around for a long time and like even if they gradually do things or like 2K how they've always done stuff like
yeah, just
we can complain about 2K. 2K players are going to complain about 2K, but they still make a bunch of money every single year and
yeah,
there's still people that are going to buy so much VC every single year.
mhm,
So it's like I
but
feel like SDS might be reluctant on doing that because they know that they've been around for a while.
mhm, yeah, with 2K and stuff like oh, I know we've talked about this before, but their legend roster is just incredible. It's insane. Like,
Mhm.
but and I just think like if STS would take something like that, like get some more of these guys, and I'm not saying you have to get like like a Barry Bonds or an A Rod or like a really superstars like this, but you could get somebody. It's like that's
Mhm.
a name, like someone we grew up with, like because I feel, or in the '90s too, because and if you want to do like some of those bigger guys, like let's say like a Ty Cobb or like
Yeah.
um or
Frank
like
Robinson or
or like notable names like even bring back Jimmy Fox.
yeah.
Like something like that. Just I feel like more legends aren't gonna hurt the game, and I feel like I think that would cut down a lot of like the current players. Like when we get the repeat and stuff. But if they just and I think just you know well, obviously with the gameplay slider shrinkage, like if you're not a switch hitter, you're probably not going to get used, and I feel like that's why because earlier in the game, like I think we had like Gatel, we had like J Ram, we
Yeah.
had Mantle, we had all these switch
Yep.
VMart like and I hate to say it because but those going to be some of the best guys in the game just because of one factor in the game and so and sometimes and I worry that if we do bring in these more legends, people are not gonna like use them as much. But I do want to still use them. I feel like this year, especially, it, or at least the last 2 years, like I think they're just working towards something. Like I don't try to get my hopes up, because it's SDS. But I'm always gonna. I know how much I complain about it, and just we or but at the end of the day, it's like I'm still gonna buy it. I still enjoy baseball. I still love the game. I still wanna, you know, be good and play it. But I feel like these last 2 years have really like shown like ne- negligence and how we need um more a conversation in the community because I feel like I'm not gonna like call anybody out, but I feel like some of the top guys and some of the other content creators we don't handle it the best as far as like how we respond to it. Like with the EA stuff, I feel like that was a perfect like they handled it like that. So I feel like if we could all get together and do something like that, I think it would definitely make a change or at least hopefully.
Yeah, I think as far as like other content creators or like bigger names in the community go, like yeah, I would agree that maybe some people don't handle it the best way is more of like
Joking and just
at, yeah, maybe joking or also like being really blatantly like not mean but like really blatantly like angry. And SDS might think like, "Oh, they're just angry in the moment. Like this isn't going to stop them from getting, from playing the game." Like so like if we came like or like other top guys came together and just wanted to talk collectively as like more of a professional way in
Mm,
of like, let's sit down and have a grown up conversation about this. Like,
yeah.
and I know that might sound silly because it's a video game, but like if they wanted to sit down and have a conversation and like I know that this may never happen, but like somehow have a meeting with like some people in SDS or like
Or
gameplay
like
people
a community
without
manager, like something like
yeah, like or yeah, like somebody on Twitter. Like I know there's like developers that are on Twitter quite often and stuff, and even like Cbrev and everybody too. But yeah, something like that I think would probably go a bit of a longer way than like the constant anger that people put out.
yeah,
Um, which I mean it's valid. Like the anger is valid and the anger is warranted. It's just I think they're probably thinking like, "Oh, like this isn't a real conversation. It's just gonna be them angry and yelling at me,"
yeah,
which I think wouldn't be the case. It would just be better if, they could sit down and have a professional conversation about stuff and say like, "Listen, like we need this about the game. Like we need this to change. We need you guys to do this better. We need like as a community that actually plays the game, like just stuff like that." Like
yeah,
and I think that does kind of boil down to like the top players or like the top people in the community. Or like the voices, like we said, like the voices of the community that kind of voice everybody's opinions. And it's nothing against anybody that
oh
does it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Like it's just I
it
feel
and like I said, like the anger is valid, the anger is warranted, and it's more than fine to put that out there. It's just I feel like SDS might look at it as like, oh, we can't have a
yeah,
professional conversation because of the anger type of thing, which is not true. I think those people would know in a situation that they could have a professional conversation, but yeah, like kind of talking about like the legend thing you mentioned. I have always, and like the last few years, I have always praised saying like 2K has an insane legend roster. And I know that SDS, I know baseball might be a little bit different, but the last few years, I feel like every time we get a bunch of new legends into the game, we lose like the same amount of guys. So
yeah.
like the legend roster
It
stays
just
around the same number.
yeah, because
Like
like
it's not really growing because we lose a bunch of guys.
yeah, like shout out your video earlier where we, discussed like all the guys, like we lost. Like it was some big names too, like Todd Helton, like
Yeah.
rest in peace, shout out Jonathan for that. But and Ricky Henderson, like, your boy
Yeah,
Michael,
Ricky's that's such
like
a big name.
even like somebody like I know you loved him, Mike Lowe. Like it was just a guy like
Yeah.
he wasn't ever like a superstar, but he was a really good player and he had some moments, especially during those runs with Boston, in the postseason.
I mean, he was like what, like a 4 5-time All-Star. Like he was
Yeah,
like these were great players. It was just
dude. Like when you think about it, you're probably not gonna think of a Mike Lowe, as somebody you need to have in the
yeah.
game. But like he was always good and fun, like and
Yeah, like it
especially
doesn't hurt to have him in it.
like yeah, like oh maybe like someone like especially with the events. I do think events this year have been a lot better. I do wish we kind of like mm, they switched it up a little bit as far as like I feel like it's always the same thing like 3 innings, all star. Like,
Yeah.
I was having this discussion the other day in stream. It was, maybe we could go back to like how events, or just a different event where it's like 6 inning quick counts, just I know, but it's just
I know it's different, but I just feel like when those were a thing, people did not like it at all. Like
yeah,
the quick counts thing, it was, it was kind of cool at the time. I mean, that back then, that was the only time I ever drew a walk in the game. I think it was a quick count.
yeah, you got a 3-1
But
counted. You just
yeah,
didn't,
started 3-1, yeah. But
but
yeah, like I don't know, like I wouldn't hate it, but I feel like the vast majority of people like the 6 inning thing for events. I think that's where like 6 innings would be fine in a different game mode. Or like you said, like add a new game mode that might be 6 innings, might be
yeah,
more competitive, might be more casual, whatever. More reason to use some of these cards, try out
mhm,
new cards, whatever. Um,
yeah,
but
but
yeah, I'm definitely happy that events have more reason to play this year. But yeah, I
um,
do think like they could change it again somehow, or like we said, like just add a new game mode to
with I know you don't. I know like people that don't play Madden, like they have a gauntlet mode, and I think, that would be perfect for something like MLB where like, it's 6 innings, you could put it on Hall of Fame or you could have a legend one, you could separate the two. and like you have to use like different guys. Like maybe like you got to change your starting. You can't use the same starting pitcher in that gauntlet run. You gotta
Yeah.
maybe like change a couple guys, or like I know people have always said like maybe like a cap type game mode, like salary cap type mode, where you have to I've always said like back in the day, like I used to love those like 22, like even though I feel like that game, it's probably the worst. No, it's 18. It's 18. I even though I didn't play 22, for me is always going to be the worst. But
Yeah.
I feel like those tournaments were fun because like a lot of you had there was only like 299s you could use in your lineup, and then you had to kind of fill it out with some of these lower guys, and that would make guys like you would have to really think like, oh, like there's this 95, Nicholas Castellanos, like everybody loves his swing, or like a 95 Ozzy something. And I think those were always fun. So something like that would be, fun. And it maybe gives a chance for us to use some of these guys, like especially, like these 93, 94, 95s, even though I don't think some of them like, and I know we talked about this, they're built right, like I feel like they're a little, they're a little iffy. Like I feel like this year especially they've been a little iffy on
Yeah.
like besides like a couple cards, I feel like for the most part, like some of the 99s don't look like 99. Some they like it's just like there's oh,
Yeah, I as far as like the gauntlet thing and the salary cap thing, like do you remember if like it was more prominent in like 1920 and I'm thinking like 21 and probably 22, like as far as events go, like when they used to have like the overall lock and you had to
yes,
build your team like under
yes.
that
Oh
overall,
yes, yes.
like that they just completely took that away. And I mean, it's not a bad thing because I think you should be able to use pretty much any card that you
Especially
really want to. Um, but I think the problem with like a gauntlet mode or something is I think they would probably I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. Like if they brought out like a gauntlet mode or like a cap mode or like an overall cap mode or like the tournament thing like you said, um I don't think it would be a good thing if you were forced to use a card that may have dropped in like April and it's like August. You know
mhm.
what I mean? Like I think people would be like, "Oh, I don't want to use this." Like I know that that is part of the game mode and that is part of like the gauntlet thing, but I don't know. I feel like some people would be I think there would need to be certain rules or like certain um I don't know, like certain ways like content could go around that like would make it so I don't know how to exactly word it, but like people I don't know exactly how to word it, but like people
Yes,
wouldn't want to use certain older cards,
yes.
even if they were good, but
Like
like
yeah, like let's say for example, like some of the tops now, which I feel like they've done a really good job of this year. Like there are a lot of
yeah,
good tops now, like Brandon Valenzuela, like he was and Andre Jimenez. They were good cards for when they were dropped. Like um yeah, I gotta glaze the Blue Jays a little bit.
even that Cole Carrick, I know a lot of people like that Cole Carrick
Yeah,
card right now.
yeah, but
Some of the pitchers were solid at one point,
yeah,
like
and I do agree. Like, I think people wouldn't want to use those guys, because like by the time like we get to like the later parts, like we're all 99s. Like, why do I want to use like a 90 like two tops now card or something?
yeah, yeah.
But I feel like that it would give a reason for people, like for these cards to exist. Like, because I don't want to say um like. I feel like, especially in the last couple years, I'll talk about collections late, but I feel like that's all we're doing is just like we're you getting these cards and we're not really using them. Like we're just kind of getting them for the next collection, just saving up for the next collection. It's just card filler
Yeah.
cards.
That has been, I think, a problem that has kind of grown over the last few years as far as like collections and stuff like that. I wish that those little collections were a little bit more separated and like few and far between because there was a time where we were getting one like every week. It was like 3 weeks in a row we were getting like a new collection thing, and
Yeah, like
you would get a group of cards, and you're like, oh, like I want to use these cards, and then you don't have any time to use them, and then a new group would come out, and then you wouldn't have any chance to use those guys, and then a new group would come out. Like
yeah,
it's
like
just I don't think is necessarily a problem with like constantly upgrading like your team, but um as far as like a big collection like that where you need to use stubs and you need to like save up stuff or like get lucky on pack pulls, like that's where like it's a bit of like RNG type of stuff or like luck based where if you don't have a lot of stubs at the time or like you can't buy a bunch of those cards, then you're you're going to be shit out of luck at the time, and
yeah,
then you're going to even be further behind by like the next week when another big group of cards come out. So it's just stuff like that. Like you definitely need to be
yeah,
on top of some of that stuff or get lucky with polls
yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah, I feel like back in the day, I always enjoyed it, like, cause like I feel like what we're saying, like I think we got like J Ram and Cattell and like Mantle all within like a month of each other,
yeah,
or like a couple weeks. It was definitely a couple weeks. I'm not.
it was all like within the same inning program or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, something like that. And an
Yeah,
inning program's like what, like a month or 25 days.
yeah,
So
like
super.
yeah,
And I feel like collections back in the day, like they meant something. Especially like I remember like in 21, those collections, like we didn't get like um you know like some of these guys like until like later in the year. It was like we got one in like maybe like June. Obviously the live series with but like we got like I think I know Griffey was one in 21, like that was the last I believe one, but like
that
we
was
got
like November.
and then we got like we got Mantle, we got like some of these just guys, and I feel like I think 23 did a good job with this. I know it was collection heavy, but like they did it so where like they had the choice packs with like certain things like with the set, and but they also did it where you got cards like when you were collecting them, and I feel like they do a good job with that. But
Yeah,
to me, it's just like nobody like like let's go with the All Star for example. Like everybody wants to use Jordan. I think he's a 99, but like I don't feel like people really want to use like some of the other ones like Cam Shittler or like a Bobby Witt.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Like that Bobby Whitcar, that
poor
does not look
Bobby.
like a nine. That does not look like a 98 to me. I'll be
Poor
honest. Like some of those cards, like
poor
and
Bob. Poor
real
Bobby.
quick. Yeah, I know, poor Bobby. Real quick though, like this is something that has been a thing, and I feel like no one really ever talks about this, but like, is there a way that we can just like scrap like the position thing? Like as far as like certain positions like change overalls more than other ones? Like,
Well, the
why does
secondary
that have to be a thing?
like the
No, like
sec.
I'm saying like if a shortstop compared to like a first baseman, like the first baseman doesn't need a bunch of defense because
Yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah, like he's
Um,
a first baseman, so they juice his offense and the card is gonna look better. A shortstop, some of the shortstops, like that Bobby Witt card, it looks like a 98 because his defense and his speed are really good, but his offense is not as good as really like it's not gonna be 100% usable because of those offensive stats. And they're like, oh well, he's a shortstop, so like the defense means more. That's gonna change because of his position or like
yeah.
certain things, and I'm like, why does that even have to be a thing? Like, can they change like the overall wheel type of thing? Like that doesn't
Yeah.
really need to be that far in depth, in my opinion. Like,
Uh,
if a guy is good defensively at shortstop, or
that
like they want to lower certain things to make it a 98 and not a 99, like why even have like why
I
does that
feel
even have to be a thing? Like the rating scale type of thing. Like
yeah.
I feel like it should be more. I feel like it shouldn't be like technologically advanced that way and more, you know what, this card is a 98 and like
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that just
Um
sounds silly, but like I feel like position wise, like shouldn't change certain things like that.
Yeah, I feel like this year especially too. I agree with you. Like we should like get cards. Like it shouldn't be too reliant on like I know like discipline back. It was a big thing. Like they would just
Yeah.
juice it up like and stuff like that. but I feel like they're going heavy on like the content or the mods or the parallel mods, which I do like.
Yeah.
I do like the idea, but I feel like just the way it is, like I feel like people don't like. I don't understand it fully. Like I do, but I just don't like if they're
You don't want to
gonna.
rely on having to get that with a
Yeah,
card.
and with these mods too, like certain. I feel like you should be able to if they're gonna do it where let's say like a card's a little bit less on offense, but has amazing defense. Maybe like okay, so like when you get a parallel like 5 or whatever or 4, like you get a certain amount of points, so that way, oh, let me just it's a little bit low on power, let me just juice his power, like just something.
Yeah.
I think that would be something cool, or maybe like give them like better clutch or something to make
Yeah.
these guys more usable.
I think another thing with that too is like, yes, they should not be creating cards and thinking, oh, like this card will be good if you add a mod to it, or like if you parallel this card. Like I remember when parallels were added, it was kind of the same thing. Like I remember people thinking like, oh, like I look at this card and I think like I don't want to have to look at it and think, oh, if I parallel him a little bit, he'll be good, or like if I put a mod on him, he'll be good. I think that should just be an added on thing. Like if you want to put it on, like you should like
Yeah,
another thing too is our minds are programmed to, as soon as we see something, if it lights our like if it clicks something in our brain, we want that card. Like certain cards, as soon as you look at it, like the first thing you think of is, oh, that card looks good. You should not like the first thing you think of is not parallel points. The first thing you think of is not mod, like adding a mod on. So like us and how we look at cards, the first thing we're gonna think of is like, oh, that card doesn't look that good.
yeah, like we're
And
gonna.
then you might think like, "Oh, well, if you add a mod or you add a parallel," but that first initial thought is, "Yeah, that card doesn't look that great. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna really care to go for it," or like whatever, stuff like that. Like, so yeah, I think you're right. Like as far as them kind of catering to people really using the mods or like adding the mods on stuff, which I think is a cool idea, and I think it's a good addition. Although there's talks about how that was kind of a big reason why the servers have been the way it's been, which would
yeah,
not surprise me at
yeah,
all.
yeah. Um, yeah, yeah, it's not a bad idea. I do like it, but I feel like th- they are so like dead set on building cards certain ways, like, and they don't like know how to build anything else.
Yeah,
Like once they stick to something, they're gonna beat it, and they're just gonna like, and that's what the contact mod or the mods like. They're just gonna dead set on like oh, you got to use the mods or
yeah. I Another thing, I know this is completely kind of off topic, but I just thought about
or
it
just
is,
happen. Yeah, it's
yeah, and I mean, I'm just gonna be going back and forth. I was just thinking about how, like, we've talked before about how, like, releasing certain guys at a certain time of the year really
yes,
matters.
yes,
Um, and I think that is also another reason why I've been angry with, like, these repeat guys, because it's taken away from, like, the legends that already for years have been not necessarily neglected, but just never released at the right time,
yeah,
and now it's
yeah.
even making it worse by, like, never even giving them a card in the first place.
Yeah, let's I could think of a couple like a Duke Snyder, a Herman Killebrew, or like
Ralph Kiner.
yeah, like those guys, like
Yeah,
they're not bad. I know they've been in the game forever. They're not bad. Like what your swing, there's preference of swing and stuff like that, but they're not bad. Like,
yeah,
but they're just never released at the right time. And I feel like going back to 22, like I remember when people were like, when George Brett was released, people were like, "Oh, it's George Brett." Like we had him in the game
yeah, I
forever.
know.
But then when they actually used him, he's like, "Oh, he's
Yeah,
nasty."
that card is nasty, that's what I mean,
And
like
same thing with Kutch too. Like, oh, we've had he's a lot. What
yeah, yeah.
like I feel like
I
they should
I
more so guys like that. Like as far as like collection rewards and like maybe
yeah,
just really like uh, I know we talked about this. Like, say there's like a like 95, like let's go with Adam Jones for example, and then like we still have like a 91 or 92 Trout. Obviously, Trout has a great swing, and people are gonna love Trout, but like it would make you really think, oh man, this 95 it has great great attributes, great you know Let me use him.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that I had brought that up before, how
Yeah.
I would love if that was the way it was structured, where, yeah, like, say we had like a 91, 92 Trout, and then a 94, 95 Adam Jones came out, and if you look at the cards side by side, Adam Jones might be the better card, but the concept of people knowing who Mike Trout is, the concept of people wanting to use a Mike Trout card, how he's always been good in the game. People are probably going to gravitate towards him a little bit more, but because the Adam Jones is a 94, 95, that's going to make people want to use him too, because he might be the better card in a way. So yeah, I would like if they did that a little bit more. And then also, like, I really like how the last few years I've noticed where the live series collections, like, right at the get-go, like, all of even, like, the division collections are all new legends. Like, I like that they do that. Like, they're all the new legends. The team ones, they incorporate a lot of new legends into those. But then after that, I feel like those guys just don't get, like, I know we've talked about this before, but, like, Willie Stargell is one of those guys that I feel like there's never been a single time where a Willie Stargell card has been a pencil in for a first base spot on your team.
Yeah.
There's never been a time, and I think a lot of that is because he usually gets thrown into maybe like a late game headliner, or like a late game pack or
Or
whatever, or like,
or a late game program that's just kind of like,
yeah,
oh,
like a collection filler.
these guys
Yeah,
don't
like
have
a filler
99s.
type of guy.
Let's go throw them in there.
Yeah, exactly, and I think if somebody like him was released early in the game, they're gonna get people to use him more because he is a good looking card, and then people might realize like, "Oh, he's good now. I can't wait for his 99," type of
Yeah,
thing.
and I think
So,
yeah.
if you look at, like, because how many, like, legends are in the game? What is it, like, 170 or, like,
Uh, uh,
150?
yeah, it's something.
Something like that, like, between 150 and 1 or 200, I think, like that, or something. Realistically, if you take away all the guys that, for one, don't get used because of the way that they incorporate them into the game, two, the people that don't get released until late in the game, or three, this year have been completely neglected, there's probably only like maybe 80 usable legends. So
Yeah.
like there's so many guys that are either just thrown into the game, or like, or used as a way of like, oh, our legend roster is growing, when they don't even like incorporate them into the game at all.
Yeah, and, I think you too, like, with the repeat cards, I think that, the more I, like, look into it, it's just like I'm not angry, it's just more so annoying, than anything. It's just like, I know, like, we're gonna get good, like, PCA cards, Jacob Mizraowski, like, we're getting like, these current players, they're in the game, like, if they're doing good, even if they weren't, they could just, give them, like, a flashback or 99
Yeah.
or, like, just but yeah, with some of these guys, like, I always go back to Fred Lynn because that was, like, one of the guys they showed in the trailer, or, like,
Mhm.
trying to or, you know, um, someone
Like
like
Roy Campanella, or
yeah, like, or some
yeah,
other, storyline guys, like,
yep,
um, those guys, like, and I know when their, like, 99s and their better cards drop, like, it's gonna be the same because they build them the same way, and it's just gonna be like, Uh, it's just gonna be annoying because we're gonna get like, a 99 Cattell, um, or a 99 like a switch hitter, and it's just, like for like the third time, and people aren't gonna
yeah,
use those guys, even though like some of those like Oscar Charleston, Turkey Stones, like they were so fun to use, like in a lot of events, like I know a lot of co-op games. They were just fun cards, and I feel like they're not gonna they just get neglected, even though I feel like that's one of the like the one of the things I personally enjoy as far as like early game, like you're grinding those, learning about the storylines and just doing that stuff. I feel like if they were to incorporate those guys more, and with like some of these legends that we don't like, that I think we do neglect, they do neglect them. It's then it would be just, it would make it so like, like when their 99s are released, then, maybe you want to use them.
yeah. Like, I I was just thinking of something that, um, like, yeah, I mean, that's why, like, I know I praised this so much, but that Moonshot program last year where they had so much, like, they had like the Ozzie Smith card and they had like the Luis
I love
Aparicio
that
and
was probably
guys
my
like that. That was so good because Ozzie Smith has never been usable, and now, like, then people wanted to use him, like, he
'cause
was
he's got
for maybe a short time, he was a
he
meta
was still
shortstop.
I was still starting him.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like, there was a realistic opportunity and a realistic chance that you could put him on your team, and people weren't gonna look at you like, "Why the hell is he there?"
Yeah,
Like,
because he had
that's how
great
he always used to be.
like, "Oh, Ozzy, get out of here," you know?
Yeah. I what I was thinking too is, as far as like programs, collections, the weekly collections that we get, or like the every 2 week collections that we get, I think something that they could do a little bit differently with that is, instead of releasing like all of the cards at once, like on a Friday, like a new collection comes out and we get like what, 5, 6 program cards, we get you know, 3, 4 in the mini seasons, 1 in the conquest, and then a bunch in the packs, and they all come out on the same day. That does make it so like a lot of them aren't going to be usable because
Yeah.
they are just collection fillers. So I think they could do better at maybe like releasing some of them in, maybe on like a Tuesday, or like, and then some of them like on Friday, and then like the next week we get another like on Monday or Tuesday,
Yeah.
and then the rest of them on Friday, and then that adds to like the big collection. That does give you a little bit of time to use some of the cards instead of just throwing them into your collection, because all of the cards come out at once and the bigger guys are going to be the ones you want to go for, and you don't care about the lower tier ones. Like, I think a cool idea would be, say they release a new card series, say like, the all-star cards or the all-star series had just came out and they like released the all-star rosters IRL, and like the day of the all-star rosters they dropped like 5 or 10 of the guys,
Yeah.
and then like 3 days later
5
they
10.
drop, yeah, like 5, 10 more, and then,
Just keep
like,
going.
a few days before the All-Star break, they drop the rest of them, and then they go with, like, the draft, and they go with, like, guys like that, like, I think that would be better as just far of, like, the working up type of thing, instead of dropping everything at once.
Yeah.
Because for one, people think it's overwhelming, which I do kind of agree,
Yes,
when there's so many cards and so many things to grind at
yeah,
once.
especially, like, I love that idea, like, you just especially like, with the collections too, like, if they wouldn't keep going down that route, like, of, like, collections every 2 weeks, which you
Yeah.
know, say what you I don't like it, but, yeah, we could just release, like, 5 to 10, guys, we get a chance to use them, maybe, like, um, maybe, like, 2 cards in packs, or
Yeah.
some program guys, and then like something, and then over time we just get it until we get that final drop where we get like the chase
Yeah.
pack of that card series.
Yeah, like,
Um,
extend it as time goes on type of
yeah,
thing.
it gives us a chance to like breathe and like really like use some of these guys. Um, because I feel like with the card series we've gotten, I really like the card art and just the card series we got, like the cityscape, the mural, like Um, all the Jolt too, like in the TA, like those were
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, but I feel like for me, like I work, so like, and I know like, oh, okay, I gotta grind all this content like on this day, on Friday, and it can be a little overwhelming because sometimes you just want to play online and just play the
Yeah.
event or something. But I just like, and that's another thing too, like with they've done better with the mini season and conquest, like you're forced to play that, which I think that's kind of been a whole thing this year. Like we'll get into that too. But it's like I don't want to be forced to, play like on that day, like content drops. Oh man, I gotta play this conquest to get this stuff done. I gotta play this mini seasons, get all these cards. Like it's just like even though like they made it a little like they made a lot of stuff faster, like there's ways to speed it up. It's still like I feel like for the majority of players, they don't want to play on offline.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, I see, like, I see a lot of people saying oh, take out the cards from Conquest, take out the cards from mini seasons. I don't think that's a good idea because
Yeah, it's
we seen that a few years ago when mini seasons was first introduced and there was like nothing to get. There was like no packs, there was no like
yeah.
real big cards in it. So there was really no reason to even play it. And then they added cards to it, and now people are like, "Oh, I don't want to play mini seasons to get that card." It's like, well,
You
you
gotta
got to have a
there's
reason to play
yeah,
it of some sort.
there's gotta
Like,
be a balance, you know,
yeah, yeah.
I feel like
But you
they
shouldn't be forced to get it done.
like if you want to play to get some packs and stuff, you know, like go ahead, do it,
Yeah.
or like you know, maybe it's like a guaranteed like you know like rare round guy, you know, or something like maybe not like cards.
Ultra pack or something.
Yeah, speaking of that,
Yeah.
I feel like they are so stingy with ultra packs. Like they besides like the wheel spins, like I don't ever see him like I mean,
Yeah,
and
I know.
that in premiere packs too. Like I feel like packs this year, um, I feel like they haven't been as like obviously like I don't want you know too much cards and packs, you know. But I feel like this year they've not really like I don't know the packs haven't been as good. If you know,
Like, as
like
far as, like, variety around the
yeah,
game,
variety as far as packs.
I think some of them, like, I think mini seasons has done a good job. I will say, like, the TA, like, legacy stuff, like,
Yeah,
getting, like,
that's I love
there's
that.
so many packs in that, and I love that. Um, but I will say, like, remember even, like, last year and, like, I think 24 was probably when it was at its worst, when they would drop programs and there wouldn't be any packs in it at all.
Yeah.
Like, you were forced to, like, either buy some or, um, just hope that you have the stubs to buy some of those cards. They've done better with that. Like, every
Yeah.
program has had, some of those packs in it, so, like, they have done a little bit better with that for sure, but
Yeah, but the variety of packs I feel like
yeah,
are lacking because I feel like they're
yeah.
all it's just always deluxe packs, and I just feel like maybe
Or
like
it's like the random one, and you
yeah,
never get, like, the new packs. It's always, like, the World Baseball Classic one.
yeah, it's just like I feel like you know back in the day we had like you know like the ducks on the pond, like we had the
Yeah, yeah.
diamond duos, like we had all these different like or like pack variations, and like and I like stuff like that, and like I know people hated like grind 99. You know, like that was a big thing back in the day, but I personally didn't mind it. Like I was it gave me
Oh, yeah, I liked it too.
it gave us reasons to grind, and I feel like now it's just more so um there's not as there's not as much reason to grind certain modes. It's it's like BR too. Like BR takes
Oh, yeah, be it's done for.
it's like yeah, boys.
Yeah, BR is gone.
Yeah, and you know, I know people complained about like the you know the BR programs and kind of devaluing cards. Um, but I think like that was a great way for people, you know, to like there was something to do. There was a reason to play certain modes, and like that's going back to the events. And that's why I really like events too. Maybe there's you know too many moonshot events. You know, I know people say that you know because that's like what everybody wants,
Yeah.
but I think for the most part, events have been just fun. They've been, you know, they've been worth playing.
Yeah, I like that events are back to because I was always an event guy, but yeah, BR, I mean, I when the BR program came out, that's when I would play BR. Like, I enjoyed playing a little bit of BR, like, and now I don't play it at all. Like, there's been a couple times where, like, what, the little missions for, like,
Yeah, the
each any
multiplayer.
program or, like, the multiplayer program, yeah, like, will come out for BR, but it's, like, 2 missions that you can get done in, like, what, 5 games or whatever?
Yeah, it's like
Um,
two
yeah, like
wins,
that.
like five stolen bases, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's just stuff that you can get done so quick, and then you're just done with the mode, so, yeah, I used to like the BR program or have some type of, like, BR just some type of reason to play it. There's no reason at all.
And the rank program too. Like
Yeah.
I know I do like the multiplayer program, but I feel like you know, and with the legacy stuff too, like the team legacy, you know, I love that idea. Like just more
Yeah, I
like
do too.
it's just like they could do like so much more stuff of that, like, you know, maybe, like, just some random stuff you don't think about, like, oh, like, if you get, like, a certain amount of pickoffs and, you know, or something, like, you get, like, some packs
Yeah.
or just something like that that's fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that'd be cool. Um, I feel like the legacy stuff and the TA team stuff has not been talked about enough. Like
Yeah, no one talks about
I
it.
really, really like that, and I think that was a cool addition. It was, you know, a reason to maybe throw some of those guys more guys in your team, like, even more reason to use theme teams if you want to. Like, you might see like, "Oh, I need this much more XP to get this mission done, and I get 20 packs." I'm like,
Wait,
"Oh,
yeah.
okay, I'll throw this guy on my team for a few games or something."
Speaking of theme teams, man, like captains and stuff, eh, we're captains. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they're just steering away from that pretty much
which,
entirely.
which I hate because I feel
Yeah, I kinda liked it too.
like captains are a great way to really like play the game. Obviously, it's kind of like the parallel mods. Like it's something
Yeah, yeah.
like
Which I
something.
think is why they've kinda steered away from captains because they wanted to add that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I think people like obviously people are going to use the meta and they're going to use like the best cards. In ranked you should like. Well, like it was always fun, like running a theme team and like an event or like maybe in co-op. Which, speaking of co-op, I really have like besides like the server issues and like obviously the co-op issues, and that's every year. Co-op has been really fun to play with the
yeah.
improvements they made as far as like getting with the cards you do actually get.
Yeah, I man, I was so surprised. I knew that when they said that they were changing it this year to make it, like, more up to date with, like, the power, creep and everything, I was thinking, "Oh, you know, they're probably gonna have, like, the lower tier guys of the power creep or, like, some of the worser ones," which was gonna be fine because it was better than the golds, but,
Yeah,
man, they like, as soon as, like, a new headliner comes out, you can use that in
or like a new
the
chase
co-op
pack
or, like
even.
yeah, chase packs, like, I'm like, "Damn, okay," like, I like that, like, that's kinda cool.
Yeah, yeah, they've done a really great job at that, and like I'm gonna give SDS their props. They've done, they've done good. Like, but we'll kind of close this out a little bit, because it's been um, I feel like for me, I think just this year especially, the negatives have kind of overweighed the positives. And that's too like with Twitter, like obviously, like I try not to stay on Twitter too much anymore these days, but that is all you see, and I feel like people don't really talk about the positives because I think,
Yeah.
and I think it's just more so hating, like what we were saying earlier about it's just more so a negative speech than like like having constructive criticism, like saying it in a way where it's like oh, this could be better, this should be better, we want
Yeah.
better. Um, but yeah, what would you okay, to close this out, what would you on a scale of 1 to 10, what would your rating for MLB right now be?
Like, like,
Just
the
overall, like
game in general,
content,
or
gameplay, just the game in general.
I feel like it changes so often. That's the thing, like, right now, like, with this new like, the newest draft stuff, and I think they made improvements with the collection and, like, the improvements with the way that the content is to be played. Out of 10, I would probably give it, like, a 6 right now. There's been times where it's maybe, like, a 3, or the servers have impacted stuff that it's, like, a 1, or maybe there's been times where, you know, a good content drop comes out and it might be like a 7. So
Okay.
I feel like it is kind of like a good 5 this year overall. Um, which I feel like has kind of been the last few years. Like I feel like, and
Mhm.
I know you've said this before, like I feel like the last few games have just been like just steady mid games. Like they're not anything crazy. They could be worse. They could, you know, could be better type of thing. So but yeah,
Yes. 6, yeah, that's probably where I would go, and it fluctuates too with me, like, when the game is playing good and, and it's, we're getting good stuff, I feel like it leans more towards, like, like a 7, like you know,
yeah.
an 8, because I feel, this year, it's just more so like gameplay issues for me. I really haven't had too many issues with content this year. With besides the repeat stuff, I feel like content this year like has been for the most part enjoyable and fun, and especially like our co-op games. We do off stream. Like
Yeah.
it's just a fun time. Like maybe like we're just using just I don't know Bozo Fred Lynn. I'm sorry, Fred. I'm sorry if you.
Bobby Dewar.
Hey, Rick Farrell, our boy.
Yeah, the boy. That's what I'm saying. Though, like,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
So
it's had its positives. It's had its negatives. And you're right though. Like, I think the negatives have kind of outweighed the positives in a lot of ways.
But yeah, I feel like it's still. I know I've said like, and I've said this about every game, like, like, it's the worst, but in retrospect, I feel like there have been worse, like, you know, for me this year, maybe like not like gameplay or content wise, because I feel like it's still a lot better than like 22, because I feel like 22 was just and 22 and 18, I know I didn't play 18, but I know like you would know this. Like
Yeah.
it was just like a mix. It was both bad gameplay, bad content, just everything was bad in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like this year it's just more so like there it's the same gameplay we've had and we're kind of used to it at this point now, and the same kind of content we're used to. So it's but I feel like it's just neglect and just the lack of care it seems from SDS in a lot of areas that I feel like would
Yeah.
make this game just drag it down for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree for sure.
Um, yeah. Whereas I appreciate you spending the time to talk with me about SDS and MLB The Show. We're gonna get more videos out like this if you guys want. Feel sure to check out Rez, and his content. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.